Ever walk into a billiards hall? You know that sound? The click of the balls? Everyone laser focused. Now imagine you're just handed a cue, your turn to play.
Yeah.
Intimidating, right?
It can be. There's a lot to billiards, even if it looks deceptively simple.
So today we're mastering the basics. No fancy trick shots, just the core techniques every player needs. And who better to learn from than the pros over at PBC OLIMPIA?
PBC OLIMPIA. They're practically billiards royalty over in Munich. Their training program turns out champs.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is they're all about those fundamentals. So no matter where you're playing, those core principles, universal.
It's like their philosophy is built on this idea that anyone can pick up a cue, but to truly excel, you need that foundation. It's not just about talent, it's about building those essential skills.
So it's about strategy as much as, like, potting balls.
100%. They break down their training into these fundamental shot types: stop balls, run balls, and everyone's favorite, the draw ball. Each one's like a building block.
Okay, so let's unpack those, starting with stopping things up, the stop ball. What makes it so essential?
Imagine this. You sink a shot, great, but then your cue ball ends up stuck behind another ball. Game over, right?
Unless, stop ball to the rescue.
Exactly. It's all about that precision control. You hit the cue ball just right, with just the right spin, it hits the target, and boom, stops dead. Sets you up perfectly for your next shot.
So you're not just playing the shot in front of you, you're thinking ahead.
Always thinking ahead. That's what separates the amateurs from the pros.
Okay, so from stopping dead in our tracks, we move on to keeping things rolling.
Run balls. Ugh, run balls. The bread and butter of billiards. Hitting the cue ball so it keeps moving smoothly after contacting the target ball. Sounds simple, but there's a real art to controlling the speed and direction of that cue ball after impact.
Right, because you might want to.
You might want to pocket another ball in quick succession, or maybe maneuver the cue ball into a more strategic position for your next shot. One balls give you that flexibility.
Right, it's like that flow, you see the pros get into. Okay, so we've covered stopping, we've covered going. Now for the one that always turns heads, the draw ball.
The shot that makes the cue ball seem like it has a mind of its own.
Defying physics.
Exactly. Hitting the target ball and then having the cue ball roll backwards. Now, people might think it's magic, but really, it all boils down to understanding spin. You strike the cue ball lower down, impart backspin, and that causes it to reverse course after hitting the target.
Okay, so it's all about that backspin.
Precisely.
And mastering it.
Mastering the draw shot, that's like unlocking a whole new level of strategy and trickery on the table.
It's like that secret weapon.
Exactly.
But, thinking about all these amazing shots, there's something PBC OLIMPIA stresses that I feel gets overlooked a lot. And I'll admit, I'm guilty of it too. Our stance.
The stance. The foundation upon which every great shot is built. You could have the smoothest stroke, the most precise aim, but if your stance is off, forget about it.
It all falls apart.
Exactly. So, PBC OLIMPIA, they're religious about teaching a balanced, grounded stance. Weight distributed evenly, body aligned with the shot, bridge hand firm.
Like a golfer, right?
Exactly. Think about those pros, how rock solid they are when they take a swing. Same principle applies in billiards. That stability, it translates to consistency, accuracy, and power in every shot.
So like we were saying before about building that solid foundation, you can't build a skyscraper on
shaky ground. It's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. So we've got these fundamental shots, the stop ball, the run ball, the draw ball, and that rock solid stance. How does PBC OLIMPIA tie it all together?
They have a saying over there, mastery of the basics is freedom to create. They drill these fundamentals relentlessly because they want their players to internalize them. Muscle memory, instinct, whatever you want to call it, it's got to become second nature, because once those basic shots are ingrained, that's when the real fun begins. You can start thinking strategically, anticipating your opponent's moves, and using these seemingly simple techniques to craft some truly masterful plays.
It's like you've got the alphabet down, now you're ready to write a novel.
That's a great way to put it.
So listeners, think about this. You're facing off against an opponent, the tension is high, every shot counts. How would you use your newfound knowledge of the stop ball, the run ball, and the draw ball to outmaneuver them, to set yourself up for victory? That's what we want you to ponder on. Billiards, it's not just a game, it's a mental battle, an art form.
And the beauty is, once you have those basic tools in your toolbox, the possibilities, they become endless.